Okay, so it's Wednesday evening before Thursday of Thanksgiving, and I'm about to prepare our Thanksgiving ducky. So what I have here is a whole duck. It is appropriately trimmed, ready to go, everything taken out that needs to be, and I'm just drying it off here in order to, make sure that what I'm going to put on it will stay on it nicely. So this is the night before. I want to make sure this has an opportunity to really get flavor to it. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is pierce the skin, trying not to pierce the meat. But the idea here is I want to have an opportunity for the fat underneath the skin to render out and to go into the pan below because I'm going to put vegetables under there. And I want them to be flavored with the flavor of the rub that I'm going to use. So as you see here, I'm just piercing around, making sure that I make a lot of little holes for the fat to go out so it'll drip. What I have here is an achiote rub that I made up. I was going to use something I could buy at the store, and I bought it and I looked at it, and what it said in the ingredients, it just said spices, and it didn't say what was in it. I don't know how you feel about that, but I like to know what's actually in what I'm doing. So I decided I would just make my own. So I made a base achiote, and then I played with it a little bit, added some flavors, added a little bit of heat. The recipe for this is along with the post for this video. You'll get the recipe. This is the consistency I'm going for. I'll show you this because as the recipe says, it's ultimately you need to get the consistency that'll stick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this all over this duck, all in the underneath the wings, on the wings, underneath the legs. I've got a bunch of it here. I'm just going to rub it in really good. And that's why I'm doing it the night before, because I want to make sure that it has an opportunity for the flavors to get everywhere on this duck. Okay, I'm going to rub it up. It's probably going to sit here now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in the fridge overnight, and it'll pick up all of this nice flavor, and then tomorrow we will roast it. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, so we've taken the duck out of the fridge. It's been in there for about, 10, 12, I think it's about 12 hours. Anything around there is fine. And now I got to get it ready to roast because I want to get it back into the fridge to dry the skin. So what I need to do first is I need to get as much of this coating off as I possibly can. It's done its job. It would just burn while the duck is cooking if I didn't take it off. So I'm going to get as much of this off as I can, and we'll go back in. Now, the roasting process for this is it's going to be at 425, and I'm going to put it in a roasting pan. And the way I'm going to roast it is a little trick that I learned from another chef, I'm not a chef, that I learned from them about how to get the duck to cook. And so what it's going to be is it's going to cook sitting this way for 10 minutes on one leg. Okay. Then after 10 minutes, I'm going to flip it over so that it's cooking on the other leg for 10 minutes. And at that point, then I will take it out. I'm going to put my vegetables, my root vegetables that I'm going to roast in the pan then with the duck, and then roast it the rest of the way in its normal position. I'm going to try and get the temperature in the legs, thighs around 160. That's a good temperature for that. So I've got as much of this off as I can get off. The next thing I'm going to do then is take some towels. I want to dry it. Okay, I'm going to get this as dry and as clean as I can. And at that point then it's going to go back in the fridge for, it looks like it's just a few hours, 3-4 hours before I have to before I put it in the oven. And at that point, the skin should be pretty dry, and that'll help the skin to crisp up. All right. So this is going to go back in the fridge, and then I'll roast it a little bit later, and we'll come back. Thanks. Bye. Okay, it's time to start our Thanksgiving ducky. All right. I have the pre-warmed. This was in the oven at 425, and so it's hot. And what I'm going to do to start the duck is start it, and you can hear it sizzling already. I'm started on one leg. I cook it like that for 10 minutes. Why do we start it on the leg like that? It's a little trick to try and get the legs to cook a little faster because you know sometimes the breast dries out if you don't start if you the legs by the time the legs are cooked. So we're going to go stick this in the oven. 10 minutes on this side, 10 minutes on the other side, and then we're going to put it flat again. So I will be back in 20 minutes when we add the vegetables. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Both sides I got their start there. And I'm going to take this out. And we're going to stick it over here for a second and add the veggies. They look good. So what I have is mostly root vegetables in here. I've got some parsnip and some multicolored carrots. They're getting tossed around in the duck fat. What's better than cooking something in duck fat? Okay, I push it towards the center here, and they will become a bed for the duck, which we will now put breast side up. Here we go. Breast side up. He will continue to render, add wonderful flavor to those veggies. I'm going to put him back in now. And like I said, this will probably take about 20 to 40 minutes for the duck to cook. And it's okay that the veggies probably won't be ready at that time because the duck's got to sit and rest for about a half an hour. So I'll turn it down. I'll let the veggies finish and we'll be ready to go. So thanks for joining me. That's the end of the videos. We have a couple from our COVID pod coming over for dinner. So from this point on, I'm gonna, not gonna be doing any more videos, but I will try to remember to post some pictures. Thanks for joining me.